welcome for Sagar. He keeps extremely busy. He's very well known in the industry. Keeps extremely busy, but every now and then we manage to get him onto these sessions after, of course, requesting a lot. So he's finally here to take this session with all of you today. Taken out time, and for the next 3 hours, he's going to tell you everything that he knows about AI and creativity. Right? Welcome, Sagar, in the chat. Come on, let's get this rolling. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. I think Sagar, you can already see. I'll quickly spotlight you. People are super, super, super excited to get started with the session. They've been waiting. They've been DMing us on Discord also saying, when's the lunch break getting over and when is Sagar coming? Sagar is finally here, guys, and we'll get started with the session. Over to you, Sagar. Oops, looks like a Zoom glitch, but should be fine now.
Uh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Rashika, for the warm welcome, and hey everyone. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are excited to learn today, and let's do a quick tech check before we actually get started, so that I know that you guys are able to see me. Let me just share my screen quickly. Yeah. So just put it in the chat. Are you able to see me clearly, hear me clearly, and also my screen? Is it visible very clearly? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so should we get started, Rashika?
Absolutely. Let's get started without much ado. Over
All
to you.
right. All right. So today's session specifically, it was told to me that we have to talk in terms of, how we can use these AI tools to do visual storytelling. And I create content on Instagram and YouTube as well around computer graphics and games. And so visual storytelling is a thing which is which is personally close to my heart, and that is why I thought it would be awesome to explore to explore teaching this side, and as well as share the ideas that I have experimented up till now. um, and that's why this session is specifically called as visual storytelling and content generation made simple with AI, right? So
Also, Sagar, before you get started, just I wanted to quickly, we've done the poll before and wanted to quickly share what what the composition of this room here is today. We
yeah.
majorly folks working in marketing and related fields. We have 30% of the people being founders here today.
Okay.
34% are working professionals, remaining are all freelancers and consultants. And about a whopping 56% of people work in marketing over here, and remaining all are divided across other industries.
Right.
And about 40% people are coming in with 10 plus years of experience. It's a very rich room here today, very senior professionals and very diverse, but majorly founders and folks working in marketing is the focus here today.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm hoping that this session would be very useful, specifically because I'll be telling you a lot of use cases of how you leverage the latest AI tools. We have two major tools today that we'll be covering. Second one is actually a big tool set that will allow you to do a lot of things. So uh, before we move on to the actual presentation, want to ask you guys, how much AI do you use in your day-to-day life? Like what have you been doing so far, right? Have you used GPT, or do you automate your stuff using agents? To what level do you know about AI, right? Okay, somebody saying for research, for somebody saying daily use, not much. Copilot, writing tools, marketing, stationery shop, okay. GPT for Quora answer, writing, automation, research, text generation, G, content writing, coding. All right, all right. So I'm understanding that a lot of the use cases, I mean, everybody is using AI these days, and very happy that you guys are also exploring. And most of the use cases that I'm seeing are related to, somebody even said decision making using AI. Yeah, even I do that. Ideating framework and almost everything except except thinking. That's the actual point, right? So I was discussing with a friend, and we kind of were discussing what is happening with the AI industry, right? Every tool is kind of becoming AI generated. There is every other new tool that replaces somebody. So what should the professionals actually do? And somebody exactly pointed that out. Thinking is the best thing that you guys should be focused on. Like everybody should be focused on, because skills are kind of democratized right now. Anybody can write code, but then think at a scalable software level, like you can if you look at a point where you can scale a software, if you can think from that point of view, then you can leverage these AI tools. Similarly, if you have a good taste in designing posters, in designing products, in designing campaigns, then you can leverage AI to make things faster, right? So very happy that you guys are using a somebody said my girlfriend is GPT. Awesome, awesome. So even I have a chat with GPT daily regarding my learning, regarding discussing ideas, programming, discussing algorithms, designs, and so on. So a lot is changing, right? Like we discussed, a lot of things are changing. Products are changing, processes are changing, the way people create are changing, job requirements are also changing. So 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, we'll see that a lot has changed, right? The tools are not the same as before. You're already seeing that the regular coding tools like Stack Overflow has already gone down. There are coding tools that are coming up. Then designing is changing, because now you can ideate so quickly, right? Processes are changing. So some of the examples before we actually get started. So Photoshop has this generative fill feature, which before you had to layer things on top of each other and then combine them together, but now you can just directly generate fill and generate, right? Similarly, Cursor AI, which allows you to code. Figma also has an AI assistant which just type a prompt and then get a design idea, deploy it to your website, right? Things like that. And then just like these products are changing, processes are also changing. Like I mentioned, right? Today you have N8N where you can create multiple workflows that do different things for you, like searching for jobs, research, doing market research, scraping Twitter data, and then identifying trends, like figuring out what is trending and what you should be creating, right? Then the way people create are also changing. Up for a walk. This is a small example which I wanted to showcase, where this guy's walking with a camera in his hand, and there is just a robot. Now imagine like how much time this would have taken if it was like 5 years before, right? You would require a 3D modeler who would model this, then a texturing artist who would texture this, like color this whole model, then put this 3D model into that environment. Then he would have to do some kind of camera tracking, so in Blender or in Maya or Max, then compositing, then matching the lighting, and then rendering. So this whole process of making this file would have taken almost a few weeks, right? But now you have like you can do that in a few minutes with tools like Pika. And this is just the worst phase, right? Whatever is today is the worst phase of AI, and it will be better tomorrow. So VFX tools, the way people create, everything is changing, right? And that is why job requirements are also changing. Now it's not anymore required that you have to particularly have a understanding of all the tools. If you are a good thinker, then you can generate ideas using AI. But obviously you need to have that skill set as well of the tools. So a perfect blend is somebody who can think, somebody who also has a skill set of tools, and then he can blend these two together and think something new, right? So where are we today? Almost all the traditional apps, like you mentioned, right, are changed, have been replaced by generative AI apps. You guys already mentioned a few names, right? Like you are using GPT for almost everything. So that is happening. We all know that, right? So today we'll be discussing how we what are the different use cases that latest image generation tools. I'll be specifically talking about image generation, video generation today, and we'll be trying to think of different use cases, and hopefully at the end of the session I'll give you this session will help you get a brief idea in how you can use AI to ideate things, right? So from idea to execution in creative generation and brand storytelling, today what is happening is the lot. before, whenever we used to create a poster, right? Or let's say if we used to create an advertisement, that advertisement or that poster used to be for everyone, right? Brands didn't have that kind of money where they could create a personalized advertisement for everybody, or like for every group. It was not possible, but because of AI, it is possible today, right? So AI will make it possible for you to take the core idea and then expand it, like create hooks, create captions, create visuals. Then you can auto generate custom personalized creatives for different segments, for mobile, for desktop. Like the resolutions can be different, that also can be automated, right? And the feeling of that for different generation, like if you are creating something for Gen Z, if you are creating something for, let's say, older folks, then you can create a different version for them altogether. And then visuals, video, everything you can ideate, create fast, right? And today it is possible to hyper personalize everything. So before I explain what hyper personalization is, I'd like to ask you guys, how many of you have
अपने पास वाले
he's seen this advertisement of Shah Rukh Khan? Like, has anybody seen this advertisement of Cadbury ad? Put it in the chat. What was special about this ad? Before I play this video, can somebody tell me what was special? What was special about this ad? Okay, all of you are saying yes. So tell me what was special about it. It's made with AI. Fine, it is made with AI. Personalization to everyone's name, right? Personalization, yes. So are you able to hear the audio of my screen? I'll just share. Just tell me if the audio is.
मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
Is the audio? Is it audible?
लाया हो ना यार अपने
Okay, so now just wait for a second and just hear what he's saying. Okay.
पास वाले रोशन किराना से आप भी अपना मीठा वहीं से लेना
We used machine learning to recreate Shah Rukh Khan's face and voice to take the locals to.
करना
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
लाया हो ना यार
See what he
अपने
said.
पास वाले रोशन किराना से
So he says अपने पास वाले रोशन किराना से, but I don't think Shah Rukh Khan has actually said those words, right? They took AI. So there was a company called Rephrase AI. They took Shah Rukh's voice and then they converted it into multiple languages, right? And then created multiple ad campaigns. They even created a website that allows users to, put their own Kirana store name, and then Shah Rukh Khan will say it in their voice. It's a very good marketing campaign, and it got viral. The company also got acquired by Adobe, I think. Rephrase.ai. And I mean, this is the way of this is basically what hyper personalization is, right? You can personalize things as per what the audience is, as per every other requirement, right? So now, since I talked about hyper personalization, now you can think of different ways in which you can hyper personalize content, right? Because now it is not up to one graphic designer to create one creative. There is an AI bot that can create 100 creatives for you. So if you have just an Excel sheet, right? Let's say I have an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet has let's say idea, and then that idea has particular way of saying particular emotion, and it is made for particular occasion, and it is made for particular target audience. Let's say I maintain an Excel sheet, a database of all my audiences, right? And I categorize my audience. I categorize that, okay, my audience has 50% Gen Zs, my audience has 30% millennials, and my audience, rest of it is 20%, right? So then I can actually draft captions. I can actually draft prompts that create images for those kind of groups, right? So that is why I just wanted to highlight what a good prompt is, because that way, I mean, you guys already might be knowing about prompt engineering. So how many of you don't know about prompt engineering? Like how many of you haven't heard it? Okay, there are still few people about okay, there are few people who don't know. So some people have already learned it. I'll just briefly explain. Okay, not going deeper into it, but briefly explain. So the way you communicate with these AI models is through language, right? Whatever you are telling as a prompt is basically a language input to the AI model. Now, the output that your AI model gives is dependent on the input that it gets. So if the input is bad, the output will be basic. If the input is very good, very much descriptive, right, then the output would be really good, right? So for example, just take a look at this prompt. this prompt is saying, make a caption for this. Let's say I just gave an image to ChatGPT and I asked it make a caption for this. So what does this prompt have? It is not descriptive. It is very vague, right? And it doesn't have any intent. Basically, it's just a basic statement. So AI will create what you give it. So I gave it a basic prompt. It will generate a basic output. But instead of giving a basic prompt, if I tell it create an Instagram carousel to promote our new plant-based protein shake, like I gave it the product, and then for busy fitness enthusiasts, I gave it the target segment in their 20s with an energetic motivational tone. I also told it the tone, and I also told it include a clear call to action for to shop now, and then you can add hashtags and emojis. So it's a very much descriptive prompt, right? So this is what I call as a marketing AI prompt system, where you actually, instead of it's a blueprint that you guys can also use before we jump on to actual experiments. So this is something that you can use immediately. You can just take a screenshot of it if you want. So create a what do you want marketing asset to promote what product do you want to promote for what audience, in what tone, on what platform, and what do you want to include extra. So just to give you an example, so I can say create an ad copy, create an ad creative, or create an email, or create a blog outline, or create a caption, or a LinkedIn post, right? What do I want to create? For what? For what product, right? Skincare brand, webinar brand on branding, free trial of our email tool, things like that. For whom? For freelancers, for new moms, for Gen Z sneakerheads. And what should the tone be? Witty, playful, calm, confident, bold, persuasive while generating content. And then what platform do you want to ship it for? And do you want anything extra? Right? So just a few examples. Since you guys already know about prompt engineering, create an email sequence to promote a skincare kit for men targeting first-time buyers with a casual, helpful tone, right? All these three are examples. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take it. But the basic idea is this: you give it a descriptive prompt which has all the things. Now, if you want to add a seasonal intelligence on top of it, right? If you want to add, if you want to add event also, if it is Diwali, if it is Christmas, if it is New Year's, if it is Ramadan, back to school, summer sale, all those things you can add. And based on the event, based on what event is there, you can actually inject that vibe into that prompt and then ask it to generate it that way, right? So with that, I explained you a very, very brief about what is going on these days, and what is a good prompt basically, and how you have to talk to it, which you already have learned. Now let's come to actual creation, right? Are you guys with me so far? Just put a thumbs up in the chat, then we'll move to actual creation. Awesome. So how many of you have checked out ChatGPT's tool, image generation tool, and what kind of things have you created? Don't say Ghibli, okay? Don't say Ghibli. Other than Ghibli, what all have you created? What all have you created? Action figures, awesome. Action figures was also trending. Branded content, e-commerce ad, brand logo, ad campaigns, investor deck, awesome. Ad creatives. Ad campaigns, created ads, infographics, event poster, t-shirt design, wireframes, 3D mockups. My God, you guys have already tried everything. Awesome. So let's check out a few use cases that I have curated for you guys, so that you guys get even a briefer idea. I think this is all already a lot trending, and people have been creating a lot of things using ChatGPT image generation. But whatever is trending is not the only thing, right? There are things beyond that as well, right? So let's start directly with ChatGPT image generation. So let's use our maps. Let's use our this blueprint that we talked about. Okay, creating a marketing asset to promote product for audience with a tone on a platform, including some extras, right? And let's say we have to revamp a brand. Let's say we have to revamp a brand visual as per our new audience, right? So let's take an example of an old brand. Can somebody name some old brand? So I had a thought in mind, this Nirma, right? So this washing powder Nirma was an older brand, right? Somebody saying old monk. Okay. Fevicol is also a good example. Parle-G. Okay. Okay. Let's do Parle-G and let's do Nirma as well. Parle-G and Nirma. Okay. So let's just copy this. I'm copying this image. I'm going to ChatGPT. You guys already know this. I'm pasting the image, and I will say, can you describe the vibe of this product? And let's say we want to remarket Parle-G for Gen Zs, right? Do you think this is appealing to Gen Zs? Right? Let's ask it. Let's see what let. So you have Campa Cola, Parle-G, Fevicol, lot of options. So see, immediately when I have an older brand and I want, I can ask, I can not just create things from it. I can even ask GPT what is happening, right? So it told me it did a vibe analysis. So design, the packaging is simple with retro aesthetics, yellow stripes, red brand, and iconic baby illustration. It hasn't changed much in decades, which it already knows. G for genius, and then emotional pool. It evokes childhood memories, affordability, and Indian middle class comfort. So clearly, ChatGPT defined, okay, this is what Parle-G brand is. And then now it is answering the next question. Would it appeal to Gen Z? Yes. If you are targeting a nostalgia based marketing in the hook, it will appeal to Gen Zs, right? Gen Z is ironically very into retro vibes, throwbacks, or vintage anything. If positioned that way, so it is telling, okay, Parle-G's brand is giving retro vibe, but it might appeal to Gen Z only if you put something in a retro, if you position it that way, right? So if you position that way, remember something old, like you can create a brand campaign around Parle-G that makes Gen Zs remember their childhood days, then maybe it might be appealing, right? It's packaged with memes, reels, cultural callbacks, like how Gen Z revived Maggie and Rasna for aesthetic and emotional value, paired with tea aesthetics on Instagram. So see this part, okay? No. If it's presented in its raw state, unbranded form, without a narrative, Gen Z often looks for stories and aesthetic or uniqueness, even in snacks. Okay. So it told you that if you want to position it in a retro way, then it will work, but it will require positioning it that way. But if you just put it that way, if you just put it how it is today, then it might not work. So let's ask GPT. So how I usually do is I converse with it, and let's ask GPT what can we do to make it appealing to Gen Zs, right? So to make Parle-G appealing to Gen Zs, okay. So it is giving me a whole whole picturization. But since we want to focus on the visual aspect, let's tell it, okay, let's think of a design to make it appealing to Gen Zs, right? I am talking in terms of redesigning the packaging. Okay, so we gave it a specific prompt, and it will. Okay, so it has given me color palette, it has given me typography, it has given me logo treatment, it has given me illustration style, packaging material, right? And so it has broken down everything. So let's just read through it. Color palette, muted palettes, earthly tones, off-white, dusty pink, right? So typography, keep this icon Parle-G font, but reduce the gloss and bevel. Make it flat, minimal. So it's talking about how we can make minimal. Then it's also talking about logo treatment of it. Why not? Let's say, let's ask it to, can you draw a reimagined version that appeals to Gen Zs? And I have given it a simple prompt to redraw it. Let's just wait and see, right, what happens. It takes some time. So while this is happening, let this happen. What are the other, like, I want to hear some very unique use cases that you guys have been using. Has anybody tried comic book generation through ChatGPT? Has anybody tried that? I don't think anybody has tried. Oh, okay. People have tried it. Have you tried generating assets, like assets for your graphic design agency, or like for your graphic design project, which have different layers? It even gives PNGs, right? Yes, for personal use only. So how I did is, I create games also. Apart from this regular teaching gigs that I do, I also create games. I create content on computer graphics. So I sat one day and I drew a game level. I was thinking of this game called Monkey Fight, where monkeys fight for bananas, something like that. Random game idea I had, and I drew that level on my pen and paper, and I gave it to GPT, and it converted it to an actual level. Then I asked it to give a sprite sheet out of it. So while we before we describe it, I'll just quickly show you what a sprite sheet is like, right? So this is what a sprite sheet is. Sprite sheet basically means when if you have played Mario game and Mario is running, right? So there is a running animation. So that animation is nothing but just frames behind each other. So ChatGPT today helped me as a game developer to convert my drawing into a game level, extract those drawings, elements of those drawings onto a page, and then make a sprite sheet out of it. And I directly imported this sprite sheet into game engine called Unreal, and then I started working with it. So that, I mean, the use cases are infinite, right? And it is all up to our own understanding. So yeah, so this is what it generated. So how many of you think this output is mid, right? This output is mid, or like this output is okay, and AI still cannot replace designers. Very mid, right? So mid. Okay, okay. Let's tell this to GPT. No, it is mid. The output looks mid. Can you can you generate something? What's the keyword for something that is not mid? I am not very much used to with the Gen Z slang, so you guys can tell me what is it? Okay, dope. Somebody said dope. Can you generate something dope uh, with more colors, with more colors, uh, better, what can we say? Better attractive packaging, right? Banger. Okay. Make it a banger. No cap. I'm not aware with these new terms. Okay. Well, let's see what it generates. More saturation, yes. So more saturated colors, memorable, top shelf, raise. So I think a lot of Gen Zs are attending this session. Awesome. So while this is getting generated, right, I want you to observe how much time it takes and how much control do we have. Is ChatGPT today giving you as much control as Photoshop? The answer is clear no. Is it giving you as much control as Canva? Answer is clear no, right? So it cannot completely replace everything today. It can assist you. It can assist you. Very good tool for pre-visualization, very good tool for even creating social media posts and stuff. But when it comes to actual design, you have to make sure that it is you use it for assisting and not completely rely on it. And we are already seeing that it's revamping it completely. Oh, this looks cool. I am liking it. I'm not sure how you guys like it. So you guys can tell me if it is mid or it is no cap or banger. Is it mid, no cap, banger? Put it in the chat. Dope. Wow. Very mid. Okay. Yeah, for people who feel that it is very mid, this is a very good tool for pre-visualization. But imagine for people who didn't who couldn't create anything at all out of this, they they can now create something like this, right? So for someone who is at a who himself is at a mid level, who just understands basics of colors, understands basics of branding, doesn't have like high level skills, then he can generate these kind of outputs, right? And iterations become faster. And not just this, I can actually go to Pinterest, and I can search for product packaging, right? Let's explore. And I can search for product packaging designs. And let's say I want it to be get to be inspired from something. Then I can actually ask it, let's say, let's select something which I think this one would be fine. Just an example, right? You can use this. You can use images from Pinterest, images from wherever you find, to take inspiration, because that is what designers do even today, right? So let's say I liked this version, but now my manager says this is fine, but he wants something which is more in this style. So I will say, can you convert the Parle G packaging to be inspired can you convert or reimagine the Parle-G packaging in the style of the image attached here? Okay. So not just creative visualization, taking something that is old, converting it into something new, giving it a particular guidance on how we wanted it for Gen Zs, converting it into that. Even if that is not satisfactory, taking inspiration from some other product and then putting it on top of your brand. So complete end-to-end pre-visualization, I call it. I don't call it end product. This is definitely not the end product. You will, if you still want to, for small brands, for individuals, it is fine. But for actual corporate companies, you cannot just go ahead and say, okay, I know how to prompt chat GPT and can you give me the job because the rest of the things GPT is doing? No, they will, you should have design thinking. You should understand the basics of how color theory works. You should understand, what aesthetic or like what feeling a particular design gives. All the designers thinking, right? That should be there when designing something that way. So somebody who can think, again, iterating again, somebody who can think and somebody who has skills and uses AI is a good blend that all the professionals would be required to have. Parle Z vibes. Looks like a pan masala packet, cyberpunk style. Yeah, so see, these are examples, and you can always reiterate. You can ask it to convert it to something else. But I think if this is rebranded this way, and an actual a real graphic designer sits here and designs it this way, makes changes to it, and this is just like I'm explaining all this in a workshop, right? So it is a 5-minute deal. If somebody sits for a whole day with this, definitely they can come out with a great output. And somebody who is a graphic designer who knows Photoshop, he can even bring more value to this poster, right? So in the meantime, while this is happening, any questions so far? Like any questions, comments, you can let me know in the chat. I'll try to answer. No questions? So okay. How many images can you generate in a day? So a ChatGPT has a certain rate limit. That rate limit is not, I mean, once you're exhausted, right? Once you use it, I used it for a whole day. When it was launched, I started using it continuously. And at the end of the day, it had said you will have to wait for like 30 minutes. Then it said you will have to wait for 4 hours or something like that. So, but see, if you are using it professionally, then down the line, ChatGPT will come out with its API. Image API will come out. So maybe you can use those image APIs. What are other questions? How can brands include their own products? Okay, so if you want to include your own products, let's say I have a perfume bottle, right? Which looks something like this. And no, this doesn't have a label. Let's take this bottle, or let's say this bottle. Right. So you can always prompt GPT, just like we gave, if you see here, just like we gave it this image, right? You can also give your own product images, and it will incorporate your product into it. However, one disclaimer I have observed. So what I tried is I took this Ather bike, Ather scooter, right? I took this white Ather scooter, and I asked it can you put this scooter in a waterfall environment, right? Let's open another chat window. Let's see if we can do multiple, right? Can you put this scooter in a waterfall in front of a waterfall? Make it look magical, right? So how can brands include their own products? You can always give your product images, take product images from multiple angles and give it to GPT. It will convert it. Can you tell how to keep the same image in different iterations? Can you tell how to keep the same image in? So I'm assuming you want product consistency, right? So when you give multiple images from multiple directions, right? Chat GPT will sort of maintain consistency. It doesn't always maintain the consistency. It will change things here and there. So I'll show you another method. Another method which we have, a second tool which is there, which we'll explore down the line, which will help you kind of keep your product and then remove everything from the back. So far, what I have observed is ChatGPT maintains consistency but removes things here and there because it is redrawing everything, right? So see, the scooter design has slightly changed, right? But it is a very good pre-visualization tool. Now you got this, and now let's say if you have a graphic designer who can correct those mistakes. So we had this random like blank poster. Now we got this something which is like this, right? And if you check it, let's check them side by side actually. Let's check them side by side. Open in a new tab. Let's see how much of it has changed, right? Yeah, so this was the older design. See, so it has sort of made changes, right? The tires, the creases on the tire, right? The grooves on the tire have changed. The spokes have changed. There is an extra leg here. Then the seating arrangement has changed, right? So these things have changed a lot. So for things that are specific to that product, like you don't want any changes, I wouldn't recommend ChatGPT because it is not a exact, it doesn't keep exact context always. It makes fine changes here and there. It is a great tool for pre-visualization. So for graphic designers, for editors, or for marketing professionals, very good tool to think about ideas, not just use it directly. But if you want something that is not perfect product, but if you want to create a creative, then for those things it is super useful. Please tell maximum illustrations and points to keep in mind. So maximum illustrations are depends on your plan that you are using. I think ChatGPT Pro will have a lot more images. I was able to generate more than 50 images a day, but I think free users will have sort of just 10 or 20s probably. I'm not sure of the exact number. I'll have to check the exact number on their page, but I have noted it down. So what I usually do, after every session, I send a PDF, resources.pdf, which has all the links and the ideas that we discuss. So you will be getting a resources.pdf after this session. I'll share it with the team, and there I'll check and put this exact number, right? If I don't think they give an exact number, they count your iterations, how many iterations you do, and because each image takes different number of compute units. Because let's say if I gave it 3 images, if I gave one images which is of a product, second image of a style, third image which is of, let's say, a human, and I want to combine all those 3, it will take a lot of time, hence more compute. Hence there is no defined exact number of images though. How to use your product pick. So product picks, I'll come down the line in the next tool. Image will be created in GPT paid version only, or free version, in both, in free and paid both version. Can we use celebrity voice for our text? Okay, this I'm not understanding. Is it worth upgrading to GPT-4? So I have my upgraded version, and I say that it is worth because I don't. First of all, I generate all my thumbnails and all my these days, so all Instagram posts, carousels, lot of them I generate using AI. Secondly, a very important feature of GPT is its voice chat. So I don't know if you guys have tried it. You should just go to Chat GPT, switch on the voice chat, start chatting with it. It is very useful for understanding concepts, for discussing strategies, for understanding algorithms, things like that, right? So I think it is worth upgrading. Can you add temperature like parameters here? No. So it is not an image editing app. No. So whatever editing capabilities are there is just this. So today you just have this editor. So let's say I want to edit this and I want to put a flock of birds here, a flock of birds. Then this is the only way to do it. So that is why I always say GPT won't replace today graphic designers or editors or like designers. You will require a designer. This is very good tool for pre-visualization, for creating social media content and all. You mean we need to have subject expertise? Yes, you need to have subject expertise. Use different angle lighting, also add extra elements also. Yes. How to create our image as avatar? So you can, I'll show you another one. So I wanted to, yesterday I'll show you, I'll show you another example which I had created. So you might have seen these claymation videos, right? So claymation is another style of, you know, so this kind of art style is called claymation. So it is basically animation out of clay. You create something out of clay and then you tweak those characters and then you get some output. So I wanted to revamp a room into claymation. So I gave it a regular room. Like this is a regular home, and I asked it to create it in a claymation form, and it created this. Now look at the consistency. Look at the consistency of both of the images, right? So let's observe. So on the right side, you had a sofa, and then you have a table, and on the table you have small book, and then this kind of vase, and then TV, and then you have a small seating area here. You have a door, you have a bunch of frames, and you also have a lamp. Now, now imagine how wild this is. I can just go anywhere. I can click any corner that I liked. If I liked some situation in a real world, I can click it. If I like some situation in my room, I can click it. I can tell ChatGPT, okay, convert it to claymation. I create a poster out of it. Infinite poster ideas, right? So because now you're getting inspired from the real world. So see, it has maintained everything. It has even put a human here. So sofa is maintained, the seating arrangement is maintained, lamp is maintained, frames are maintained, TV is maintained, this TV cabinet is maintained, and the door is also maintained, right? So people have already created. So a lot of questions. Put the scooter on Mars. Yeah, you can do it. Like if you give it a reference, you can do it. When we give reference to ChatGPT, even though it comes close, it doesn't give the exact image drawing as reference. Any way to improve this? Today it is all based on the model. So if the model does it, then it is fine. If the model doesn't do, then you are stuck. So it is always better to understand these tools in the basic way. Like, and if there is a graphic designer, he is super powered. But if there is somebody who doesn't have any idea, he will be able to create something, might not get the exact result. So skills are still required. How do I market myself and sell myself as a designer, Gen AI creator to agencies or other clients? As in, along with my portfolio, what kind of terms or keywords do I use to describe my skill set or put in my resume? So, I think because see, what everybody, ChatGPT does Ghibli, everybody is doing Ghibli. ChatGPT does toys, everybody is doing toys. You have to think something different, get inspired from things. So it is the age of thinkers now. It is not an age of just somebody has skills. Skills have been sort of democratized. So if you are a good thinker, just think of crazy ideas that you can come up with and do it with ChatGPT. Now with that, once we talked about that, I have a crazy idea that I want to show you guys, and I'm sure you'll like it. So where were we? So I have this. So yesterday I sat on my iPad and I was thinking, what do I create for you guys? And see, this is what I came up with. Okay. So if you take a look at this, just observe what is there. There is a meteor which is hitting the earth. I drew this. Sorry for my bad drawing. Not a designer. Okay. So this meteor is hitting the earth, and then there are a bunch of dinosaurs, and there are a bunch of trees as well. And then one of the dinosaurs says, "What is happening, guys?" And then dinosaurs go in cave, and then one of the dinosaurs says, "I think we are safe." And then the meteor strikes and the earth gets destroyed. So this is a random story that I cooked up, right? And I want GPT to make it into a poster or make a storyboard out of it, or convert it to something good. So I will just, as usual, after drawing something with my hand, where is it? Okay, I'll just take this here and I'll say, understand the story from this storyboard and convert it to an actual comic book, comic strip in mm, in 2D art style. Okay, let us see what it generates. Can we make CDR files? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what CDR files are. I haven't used them. Can you elaborate a bit? What do you use it for? Then I can tell you probably. Do you know how to train an image model? Yes, we are going to take a look at that. Motion from stills. Use Runway for that, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so let's just wait for a few seconds. Let's see what it generates. So you can see it has already started generating something that is useful. Hey, see the output image. So what do you guys think about this? Like going from this, which is which looks like something which has which is drawn by a 5-year-old, to something like this, which might take an actual 2D artist like a day, at least a day or two to draw this, right? And the quality of it, the colors of it are so good, right? Any comments on this? Like, what do you guys think about it? If you are a graphic designer, you can tell me if you will be using this in something, right? So just imagining things and then drawing it on your sketch and then putting it in ChatGPT is creating these kind of things. Now we can even ask it to restyle this comic book into 3D style. Like claymation. Okay, let's say it. Let's also compare the consistency once. So we had a meteor here and the earth here, and it took this meteor and earth and created perfectly. Then you had a bunch of dinosaurs and trees, right? And it drew dinosaurs and trees. And just see this, okay? It actually understood that it doesn't have to draw this text called dinosaur. It doesn't have to draw this text called trees. It just understood that it is for reference. So that also it is able to understand. Then next, I had also written another text. What's happening, guys? But it was written in this cloud, right? It's in this thinking bubble. So it understood that it is a thinking bubble and it didn't eliminate that text. So that kind of understanding GPT has. So what's happening, guys? And then I had made sure that it was a sort of scared face, and it generated a face that was scared, like this dinosaur looks scared. And then dinosaurs go in cave, and it drew a cave, right? And then here it made a small mistake. So I didn't put here inside the cave, and that's why it didn't understand if it was inside the cave. So again, comes back to prompting, how well you prompt it. So maybe instead of giving this whole storyboard together, I would have given it separately. It would have generated better results, right? With more context. And then this meteor strikes or destroyed, right? Boom. So today it is just a matter of creating something by hand and then putting it on ChatGPT. It's so easy. Similarly, it also drew this in claymation. So yesterday I tried this with origami, I tried with claymation, I tried with pixel art. So there are multiple art styles that you can try, right? This is origami, where you create something using papers. Then there is pixel art, which is just made of pixels, right? And claymation, which we are already doing. So these kind of things are possible today, just a matter of drawing, right? Let this complete and then we'll move on to the next one. But one thing to observe is the time that it takes. It takes a lot of time. Editing options are less. Again, third thing that we can do is like we can combine. As I mentioned, right? We can combine things together, and you can put one style of one thing on another style of something. So let's take an example of Adidas logo. Let's take this logo. Okay, and I'll copy this logo and I'll put it in GPT again, and I'll say 3D stone texture. Okay, and the stone texture looks something. Let's pick some good texture. Let's pick this texture and let's give, and let's say convert this logo into a 3D logo styled with material that looks like the second image attached. Make it look like it's rendered via Cinema 4D, ultra realistic. Okay, so you can do this as well. Like you can take your own brand logos, and then you can take some other style, some other texture, put it on that and reimagine that brand logo altogether. Now, somebody had previously asked, right? How Pranjal had asked, how do I market myself, sell myself as a developer? So if you come up with a bunch of these ideas, right? It is the ideas will have a lot of values these days because skills have been democratized, sort of democratized, right? Yeah. So let this happen in the background. I think both the things are still happening. Let's move on to the next tool. Are you guys with me so far? Is everybody with me so far? Just put it in the chat. Awesome. Any feedback on the speed or the way I am explaining? Any feedback on that? We still have 1.5 hours more, so I'll modify that. Awesome. Okay. How to monetize created images? See, monetization depends on your own skills, right? Then like everybody has these tools available. So how do you take these tools? You'll have to approach brands. You'll have to approach you'll have to either create an agency and approach brands and show them your work. So that is the only way to monetize. Monetization is not any different than what it was before. Yeah. So now see, you understood GPT, right? GPT ka brief, everybody understood. You can do any n number of things. You can draw sketches. You can take one style, put it on top of other. You can convert one style to 2D art, to pixel art. You can add things, remove things, reimagine product, copy styles from Pinterest. All those things are clear with GPT. Now let's close GPT, right? Let's let this happen in the background and why when this happens, let's see it at the end. But let's move on to another tool, right? Which which kind of combines all the things that we have mentioned, right? So we already saw GPT image generation. I'm going to tell you more about Kriya AI, what that tool is and how useful that tool is and how you can leverage different features of it. So for people who are subscribing to GPT Pro, uh, Kriya AI is something that is way more useful. Like I personally use it way more useful in product ideations, way more useful in reimagining things. It has video generation features, it has training features, it has scene transfer features. All of that we are going to look into next, right? So if you go to Kriya AI and if you go to home, you'll find this page, right? And it is a tool like Kriya AI. Actually recently they they raised, I have been using Kriya AI since last 1.5 year, and they recently raised $83 million, right? Abhi, just last week they raised a lot of money, and that itself says ki okay, they are doing good and they will probably be making better stuff down the line. And this tool is going to get better even now because they have raised funding. And from my personal experience, I have been using it for the last 1.5 year, and that's why I vouch for it. So Kriya AI has this first feature we are going to take a look at is real time, right? So when we were actually creating these logos, all of you said, like all of you observed that this takes a lot of time. It takes around a minute or 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes to generate. Then whatever images you generate might not be exactly how you thought it to be, but still it is very good for pre-visualization. I have another tool for you is inside Kriya AI, which you can use to do iterations way faster, right? Now what I mean by that, let's uh, let's uh, let us see that. So before we move on, can somebody give me some idea? Like I have my own ideas, but I would love if you guys give me some idea of what you want to create. If it is unique, we'll pick it up and we'll do it here. Any specific idea that anyone wants to share that he wants me to use? Okay, lots of ideas.
The chats are actually lagging on Zoom for some reason. So from the moment you ask for replies, it's taking, a lag of about 10-15 seconds for everyone's chats to flow.
Okay. No, I'm getting superhero, shoes in mountains, Mahakumbh, Indian Matrix, Spider-Man, travel app. Okay, shoes in mountains, supercar from the future. Okay, awesome. So start with a simple idea. Somebody said shoes in the mountains. So Kriya AI is a tool. It has this real time feature. So we are on real time, and real time mein on the right side, on the right. So I'm giving you a small tutorial of the tool, and then we'll be taking a look at the use cases. Okay, on the right side you have a canvas which is a painted canvas. This is something that AI generates. This right side is something that AI generates. The left side is something that you create, right? So you already saw in GPT, right? I sketched something and GPT generated something. So that whole interface is real time in Kriya AI, and it is very easy to use. So this Chat GPT may not be super useful for designers, but Kriya AI is super useful for that. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So somebody had said shoes in the mountains. Okay, so let's take Nike shoe PNG. Okay, and let's take a nice shoe. Let's take this one, or yeah, okay, this seems fine. And again, to reiterate, this is not for final product. This is for pre-visualization. So faster pre-visualizations you will get. So let's select everything. Let's delete and let's paste this shoe here. Okay. So just observe. Okay. The prompt hasn't changed. The prompt says a bustling soak in Marrakech with okay a lot of things. So it this one says that it's basically a market, and Kriya AI is reimagining this whole thing while I am taking this thing here and there, right? So this blue color of the shoe is kind of converted to this blue color of the mountain. So reimagining on steroids, right? So whenever, and it is so fast. Like now imagine the iteration, like compare it with GPT. Okay, GPT is slow, but the output is like fine. But here it is like super fast. Like you are just moving things and something is happening, right? Now let's change the prompt and let's say a shoe in a on a on a mountain. Okay. So somebody said this, right? So I said this doesn't maintain the consistency exactly. This is for pre-visualization. See, wherever I am moving it, immediately I am getting an output. Now yeah, Kriya AI has a paid version and free trial as well. Free trial may you will be able to use it to some extent. If you log in some more, you'll get credits. But Kriya AI, I think Kriya AI has a $8 subscription for per month for somebody who is not a dedicated designer and wants GPT like a general use case, then subscribe to GPT. But somebody who wants focused on designing, then Kriya AI is something that you should use. Okay. And I can change it this way and I can get new pre-visualizations. Now we'll explore the options of Kriya AI. Now is Kriya AI paid? Yeah, it is. This image take hours to design in Photoshop. Yeah, that's very true. So layering and all takes a lot to design, right? So now what I'll do, let's explore the options first. You guys understand what the options are. So when you browse to Kriya AI, you will be like already pro in it. So there is a background option. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. So there is a canvas background option. Can somebody put if the text is visible clearly? I'll zoom it in a bit. Okay, so there is a background option. Okay, इसमें I have selected, I can select a color. Okay, if I select complete white, see what happens. It knows that it is a mountain, so it put some kind of dirt below it. If I change the color to a different one, it starts putting it in a different environment. Right? And it is maintaining, it is putting it in onto a mountain. Okay, so another way to change it is, see, you can even add noise here. So I have increased noise. On the left, you can see that the noise has increased on the image. On the right, you can see some noisy, it is actually on top of a mountain. So very, very super good for pre-visualization, imagining things, right? And if you have a graphic designer, then it is super good. Somebody who knows Photoshop. Now, another option is obviously you can change colors. See, I made the color green and I had added noise. It's a green mountain. I can also change something. I can change the background entirely, right? So let's select this grassy background and you'll see that it has put this on a grassland. So this itself looks like a poster, right? Is there a way to retain the same product in the edits without changing the elements? Yeah, so I mentioned this is for product visualization. There is one more thing which I'll show you, which will help you do that. But you know what I have observed, because these diffusion models, like from my experience of doing all these things, these diffusion models redraw everything. They don't, the way they work underneath, I have observed how they work and they redraw everything. So while redrawing, they will make some changes. If you take a magnifying glass and see that image closely, you'll see that there are a few tweaks. So you will, if you want pixel perfect nature of the image, which Photoshop guarantees, which diffusion models don't guarantee, you will require somebody who understands tweaking. That is for sure. But we still have tools that help you retain the product, right? I'll show you that also. So you can change background as much as you like. Go here, change the background to whatever you like, and it will give you what you want, right? Second thing is I can rotate this, and I can, while rotating itself, it will start to blend in, right? While rotating itself, it start to blend in. right? Now somebody had said shoes on Mars. Shoes though, shoe in a galaxy. Okay. So if I say shoe in a galaxy, immediately this whole thing is turned into galaxy, right? So I even have a brush, by the way. I even have a brush. So let's remove this shoe example. Let's say I want to create a poster of uh, a let's say we want to rebrand Nike, and we want to create a lion mascot for Nike. So this was one of the ideas that I had created. So let's select lion, or let's select cat PNG, and let's select a cute cat. Okay, let's go here and let's say a lion. Let's change the color background to white and noise to 0, and let's paste this image and see my cat has been converted to lion. Now I'll show you one interesting thing, right? You have brushes. You have, just like you use Microsoft Paint or any other Photoshop tool for that matter, right? You have a brush, and let's select a brush which is like red, a little bit red. Let's increase the brush size, and let's say lion wearing a bow tie. Okay, and let's put red here. So you got your lion which is wearing a bow tie. Now what I'll do is I'll say cap PNG, and I'll copy this first cap that I got, and I'll say, oh, see this Adidas logo and this texture, we got this. So if you want to portray your brand as like something which is super strong, this is amazing for that use case. Let's even go back and see if this was generated. Yeah, this is also complete. So claymation, right? Coming back to Kriya, and I was going to paste this cap. So bow tie and a cap, and let's reduce the cap size. Okay. So I got a lion, cute lion, which is wearing a bow tie and a cap. Let's get rid of this, and let's also get rid of the bow tie, wearing a cap and a Nike t-shirt. Okay. It hasn't drawn Nike t-shirt, so let's give it some Nike t-shirt to draw. And I'll select a brush. In the brush, I can reduce the opacity as well, right? Let's keep the opacity a bit mid, and then let's generate a black layer on top of this. And it has drawn a lion that is wearing a Nike t-shirt, right? I mean, his half of this body looks cut off, so we'll try to fix that as well. Let's Control Z, and let's put this t-shirt here. Yeah, so now it is correct. Okay, because I had put the whole t-shirt on his body, no, so it imagined that to be that way. Let's reposition the cap once again. Right. Now I have a lion. Now I can do is sitting in a clothing store. Okay, but there is no clothing store because the background is blank. So I will, with the prompt, I will also have to give it Q, like image Q. So I will say clothing showroom, and let's take this image, let's copy it, and let's put it here. Okay, just like you can move things front and back in Canva, I can say send to back, and it will be behind, and you immediately you had your lion who is wearing Nikes and is in a Nike showroom, right? So how great this is when you want something, you want to reimagine a mascot, or you want to just reimagine things altogether, right? There are multiple options here. So this was one example. Let's do one thing. Let's save this image, right? On the left hand side, by the way, for people who are using this for free, you might want to check this option. So right now on Kriya AI, there is an option called slowest, slow, fast, and fastest. So what this means is, this on the right side, you'll also see that there is a FPS. So 1 FPS, 2 FPS, 7 FPS, 13 FPS. So whatever generations are happening, right? Number of frames that your diffusion model is generating, this is that. So if I say slowest, then it will only generate 1 frame per second. If I say fastest, then it will generate 13 frames per second. So if you are using a free plan, use the slowest one so that it generates lesser image in 1 second, and then your computes are saved and you can use it for longer, right? So this is something that you can note down. Then on the right side, you also have different styles. So let's just download this image and keep it, okay? And say Nike Lion. Okay. And then there are a bunch of styles. Now, if I browse to styles, you'll get all these styles that community has made, right? So you can pick up any style. Let's pick up one style, and which style should we pick? Let's pick up this colorful style, digital art style, and let's apply it on our Nike. So immediately, whatever you drew, by giving combination, you generated something, and then you converted its style to something else entirely. In ChatGPT, this would have taken you a long time. And I can even change how much style reference do I want. So if I want it very less, older image will come. If I want it higher, right, higher and higher, it will start to look like that. So you have your creative bandwidth in so much variation you can bring in your creativity. Now, along with that, if I remove this style, there is also an option called AI strength. AI strength means if the AI strength is lesser, then it will generate what I gave it. Exactly that, almost close to that, right? And you can see that it is bad, right? It is not blending well. But if I give that AI, if I give more AI strength, then you'll see that it real time starts to blend more and more. And if I make the AI style even more, even higher, the image becomes better and better and better, and the AI will start to reimagine things. Now, because there is a sofa here, no, it is making the lion sit in a weird way, but it is all about you guys, how you composite the image together. So better composition will give you better results, right? Now, let's do one thing. Let's change this background a bit. Okay, so let's save this image as well. Lion Nike 2. Okay, now you have a bunch of options. You can obviously delete, you can erase, like I have an eraser as well, which you can use to erase. So I can just remove it. Now you can even, one another use of these brushes is, if let's say I select a light, and if I select a brush which is blue, kind of blue, a pinkish blue, and then I reduce the opacity. Opacity is the transparency of that brush. I increase the brush size. The transparency is mid-level. And if I put it here, right, you will see that on the left side, it will start to, if I reduce the AI strength, no, it will start to put a light here. So this way, just by layering random brushes on top of each other, you can change the lighting completely. So for example, let's select this greenish yellow light, right? And put it here. See, it's completely changed the whole poster, right? Now it looks even better. So it is imagination on steroids, right? Similarly, so real time is very, very useful. I'll show you another example, but before we share that example, there are also multiple other options. It's a suite, right? It's a complete suite. So I generated this. Now I liked this image. What I generated, I loved it. I want to upscale it. So what I'll do is I'll click send to upscale, and the moment I send to upscale, so we are learning Kriya AI as well as checking out its features. Okay. Yeah. So the moment I send to upscale, I can select how much do I want it to be upscaled. So I want it to be 2x upscaled, 4x upscaled. Let's select 2x and let's say enhance. Right? The fur is very, very good. The right, the folds on the hat and the creases on the hat, cap, all those things are very like visible in a way. Second option is select a mountain. Uh, While this happens, let's redesign something else. Let's go back to real time, right? And I was searching for like recently I took a car loan and I was looking at their posters. So if I just type car loan and look at the images, like these are the usual car loan car loan posters, right? So these are the kind of posters that people share, right? And I was looking at them and I thought, these are very boring posters. Why not there is something which is slightly more interesting? And I thought this might be something that is
Recording stop.